Hello and welcome back to my scrap room. My name is Jennifer Perry and I'm an independent consultant with Close to My Heart. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to be working on layout 3 or project 3 of Chelsea Gardens. And normally I try to show you what's in the kit, but with this kit I was so excited to play with the kit that I cut it all up and then went oopsie. So I'm going to have to kind of show you through the catalog of what's in here. And I apologize. I just had a brain fart and forgot to show you before I cut it all up. So, what comes in the Workshop Your Way Chelsea Gardens is the full paper pack. So you get one complete paper pack with Chelsea Gardens. You receive the compliment kit, which I have all cut up because I've been using it. Something that I did a little bit different with my compliment kit is I wanted the elements to sparkle. And there's two ways that you can do this. You can either use our shimmer brush and paint it on, or, which is a really good way if you just have the little bits that you want to make sparkle. You can use our shimmer brush, or I wanted the entire, every piece to sparkle. So what I did is I placed these pieces in my spray bucket, and there's a product that I bought from Amazon. You can hear me shaking it up because you have to shake it up every time you use it. But there's a product that I bought from Amazon called Sheer Shimmer Spritz, and it's in the color of Sparkle. It gives just a tiny, and I don't know if you can see it, just a tiny layer of sparkle over the entire piece. So what I did is I just laid these into my spray box, sprayed them, put my heat gun over it, dried it all off, and I'm ready to go. Now if I had just had the little pieces like these here, I would have used my shimmer brush, no problem. And then the same thing. Brushed it on with my shimmer brush, dried it, and been on my way. But because I had larger pieces to use, I went ahead and used this. This is one of the few items that I purchased that is not a Close to My Heart product. This and my score tape and maybe the lids that go on my liquid glass. There's not much that I order that's not close to my heart, but when I find a product that I love, I definitely use it. And right now I'm obsessed with making things shimmer. So, you receive a full compliment kit. You receive 5 sheets of cardstock, 2 of which are pewter, 3 are white daisy. You receive the Chelsea Gardens gems, which I've been using. And you receive a full roll of the cream ribbon. Now this ribbon is linen, kind of looks like linen. It is, to me, linen colored. What I want to do, and I haven't done it yet, but what I want to do is I want to try and ink this and see if I can bring out the texture. I haven't tried it yet, but I'll let you know how that goes. But it's very natural looking. It does add some texture. I really, really like this ribbon. And I've already got it pre-cut, so I don't need to put that in. The item number is G1149, and then we have a couple of new items that are in this kit, starting with this kit that's going to be going forward. Professionally printed cutting guide. Yes, please. And I'll show you why this is making me so excited. You can still home print. You can still download it and home print it. But the difference is, look at that. Can you see the difference in color, clarity? I can look at this and tell that that's white daisy cardstock. On here, you're kind of like, is there cardstock under it? I can't tell. I can see where all the embellishments are. I can see when I'm doing my cuts what paper they want me to use, but you can't see necessarily on a home printed version. But what I normally will do, because I'm teaching, is I will print a copy for myself. I'll make my notes, but I keep this as my clean copy for reference. Which is something that you can do, or you can just use the master copy. Totally up to you. The other new item is the photo placement cards. You've seen me use these for almost a year to show me where to put the photos down. What I like about these is you do not necessarily have to have the photographs at the time that we do the workshops. You may put the photo placement cards down, you can finish your layout, set your layout aside. What I do is I finish my layout, I set it aside, I put it in a bucket full of other layouts that are finished, and then I take all of my completed layouts, and take those to a retreat. And then once I'm at the retreat, I just throw all of my photos where they go. Easy peasy, and then I don't end up taking everything with me on the retreat. So I'm going to set these aside. Really, really, really love the photo placement cards. Makes life easier both for me and for you. Now I have made one change, and pardon my hands, I've been working all day. I have made one change to this kit whenever I was cutting it down that I need to tell you about. This is one of the PML cut apart cards. On the instructions, it is the green notebook paper looking card. It was fine. It looks great on the example, but I didn't want to use it. So for my layouts, I made sure we weren't going to be using this card for anything else, and I chose this card for my particular layout. If you want to use the green card, by all means use the green card. They're totally your layouts. If you don't want to use any of these cards, don't use them. It's your layout. But for me, I made the change and used this one. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I do this with every workshop that I do, is I take my base pages, and today the base pages are going to be White Daisy. I've pre-cut my ribbon, so there's my ribbon. You go on this side, you go on this side, and then I just lay stuff down where it goes. So you go here, you go there, you go there, you go there, you go there, and you go there. And then photo placement cards, 2x2, 2x2, 4x4, 4x6, 4x6, and 4x6. And I have an extra 2x2. I'm not sure where that goes, so I'm going to leave that one alone. Alright, I'm going to set these aside. It may have stuck on the back of something else, so we're just going to wait. Alright, so for this one, you kind of need the photo placement cards, or you're not going to know where to start with the layout, because the photo placement cards set up the layout. So we are going to do a dry run. Make sure our placement is good. Oh, see, that's why we do a dry run. Because this goes in the middle. And then that goes on the top. Okay, perfect. That's why we do a dry run, so we don't make a mistake like that. That's weird. Okay, well, we'll do it like that. You would assume 2x2 and 2x2 would be 4. There's a little bit of, this card's a little bit bigger than these. So bear in mind when you're doing that. And I'm going to add, just to keep this one down, I'm going to add a little strip of score tape. You can use the top bow. I want to make sure this stays down for me, so I'm using score tape. I think I have score tape in every width it comes in. I like it that much. And this goes on top. Okay, good. Pardon my head, if I got my head in there. Okay, real fast before I forget, because I will forget, we're going to pull a tiny little heart, chipboard, and I'm going to use liquid glass to hold it down. This is our liquid glass. It is Close to My Heart liquid glass. I just have a different top on it that's easier for me to control. And then the score tape works wonders on ribbon for holding ribbon down. So I'm going to use the score tape to hold my ribbon down. Again, you can use Tombow, but this is just what I prefer to use. And I have already pre-cut my ribbon. I'll use tape in a bit to hold that back piece down. Okay, so our embellishments are the love quarters here. And then I want the butterfly and the heart. I'm on the fence about these new chipboards. They're a little hard to get out, in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion. Using just a dot of liquid glass. Oh, there it is. It's this one right here. Goes in between these. And that's for writing a date. So let's move on to page 2. This is page 1. I'm going to set it aside for just a moment because it's not quite dry from the liquid glass. We will need it to line up the other page, so we'll be right back. Okay, 4x6 and 4x6. Let's bring this other one up real fast. Even them up. And same basic process as what we did before. And now we're going to do, you go there. Now this is the one that's supposed to be the green note card. But I liked the butterfly better. To me the note card just didn't work. You've got butterflies all through the layout and then green note card. So to me it just didn't work, so I changed it. And that's what's so nice. With these workshops, it's totally up to you. And as you can see, the card was a little bit bigger. I just trimmed it down. The cutting guides and the workshop guide, that is a guide. It is not a set in stone. You have to do it this way. It's a guide. If there's an element on here that you don't enjoy or you don't want to use, don't use it. Make it your own. Say you wanted, instead of this, you wanted polka dots. Flip it over. It's your design. I've had so many ladies tell me I can't scrapbook, I'm not creative. Guys, I can't even draw a stick figure. I fell into this hobby totally by accident, and I would have argued with you until you were blue in the face that I couldn't do this. But in fact, I'm a little ashamed to say it, but when I first had Michaela, or I believe I might have still been pregnant with Michaela. When we first moved to this town, there was a Creative Memories consultant that just insisted on knocking on my door about every 3 weeks or so. And I did not understand the concept of taking my photos out of a photo album, putting them on construction paper, which is what I considered cardstock. I didn't understand what it was. So in my brain, why am I going to tear up my photo albums, put them on construction paper, and then put them in a photo album that cost 5 times the photo album that I got at Walgreens? And to be honest with you, and I'm ashamed to say so, I wasn't very nice to the poor woman. I was a new mommy. I was a stay-at-home mommy. I'd never been, one not to work before. And I've got this lady, who I considered a crazy lady, knocking on my door and not leaving me alone. And I wasn't being very nice about it. It was probably 6 years later when I found the right person for me, to show me how to scrapbook. And when this person was doing her scrapbooking, and it was a friend of mine that is a doctor, and we worked at the local emergency room together. And she used to, when the emergency room first opened, so after 11 o'clock, we didn't have any patients. 11 o'clock around here back then, the sidewalks would roll up. So she would come rolling into the department with her scrap bag. Remember the big XXLs that we all used to roll around with? She'd come rolling into the department with her XXL, and she would go over to radiology, and she would set up all of her, radiology table, and she'd set up all of her scrapbooking on the radiology table, and I'd roll up on a little rolly stool, and I would watch her half the night just scrapbook. And it took me watching her for probably 2 or 3 months before I realized that this just wasn't taking photos out of one photo album, putting them on cardstock, or what I considered construction paper, and putting them back into a very expensive album. And it just took somebody very quietly, non-pushy, just let me sit there and watch you work and figure out what this was. And I realized I could do it. I realized that I didn't have to be what I considered a fine arts major, which I thought you had to be this big, huge, creatively talented artist before you could scrapbook. I didn't realize that I could, that I had it in me. If you think you don't have a creative bone in your body, try scrapbooking. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Because I sure know I was. And 13 years later, this is still my passion. And I've never had a hobby this long that has been in the forefront of my life, besides my family, for this long. It just really took me by surprise how much I enjoy it. And now that I've babbled my way through this layout, let's get back to it. And there you go. Now for this layout, I did not spray every component and make every component sparkle. If you notice, the only parts that sparkle are this one and this one. The black pieces on this one do not sparkle. I didn't make those sparkle. But I don't know if you can tell ever so gently. It just is a nice little shine. I may go in fact, let me do that real fast. Let me show you the shimmer brush. Okay, so I'm going to move this one down, get it out of our way, and let me bring in the camera some. So this is the Close to My Heart shimmer brush. This is the clear one. And what I'm going to do is just paint the glitter right on the butterfly. Ever so gently. And it's just going to leave a tiny, tiny shimmer. Nothing major, but just a little hello of shimmered. On the butterfly. And I can't touch it yet because it's still wet. But there is with the shimmer trim. Okay, so let's bring these two together. Let me pull the camera back out so you can see. Okay, and there you go. So this is Project 3 or Layout 3 of Chelsea Gardens. And I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying for the last two layouts. I love the muted colors. I love that it's softer. Again, I still see my mother-in-law's gardening pictures in these layouts. I'm going to have to just find some gardening pictures for her and use on here. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful new year. Bye-bye.